I asked for an open relationship out of boredom. He agreed but warned he'd leave if he fell for someone else. 8 months later, he did. 8 months ago, I, 25 female, asked my partner, 28 male, for an open relationship because I got bored with him. There was nothing particularly wrong, but he just didn't excite me much. He agreed, but he warned me that there was a catch. If I catch feelings for someone else, I'm going to leave you for her. And that's exactly what happened. Now I want him back in my arms. He left me for his new partner, a woman around 28 to 29 years old. What can I do to win the love of my life back? Comments. Comment 1. Engel, that's the ultimate reverse card for this situation. Big ups your XOOP. Really? Comment 2. Yes, really. You played yourself. He didn't excite you, so you asked for an open relationship, and now you want him back when he caught feelings for someone else while in the open relationship that you asked for in the first place. You only have yourself to blame for this one. You should stay single for a while and grow up. Oopie. I don't want to be single, I want to prove to my boyfriend I can be better now. Comment 3. Il semble qu'il vous ait averti clairement qu'il ne voulait pas une relation ouverte et utiliserait l'ouverture de la vôtre comme une chance de rencontrer de nouvelles personnes pour se déplacer avec, et vous l'avez ignoré. There's really no fixing this without a time machine. Comment 4. Well. If it isn't the consequences of your own actions. 3. OP sowing. Ha 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 yes. Fuck yeah. OP reaping. Well this fucking sucks. What the fuck? OP. Why'd he wait 8 months to leave me then? Comment 5. It can take time to develop feelings. Why does time matter? Whether it was 8 days or 8 months, he told you the risks. Update 1 to 3 days later. Probably nobody asked for this, but here's an update. I was kicked out of his house last Sunday, that's 6 days now, and I miss him excruciatingly. I will do anything to get him to return to me, but he looks happy on social media with his new partner that I'm pretty sure he was cheating on me with. Anyway, I tried calling him, no answer. I saw him in public, and he pretended to not even know who I was. He won't acknowledge my existence, so I went to our former place just to talk, and things got hostile. His new girlfriend hates me for some reason. I didn't even know her, and she proceeded to try and attack me, while he tried to split us up and get me out the door. When he had his back turned, she maced me. And now he's trying to file a restraining order on me. What did I do wrong? She attacked me and pepper sprayed me. How can I convince him he's dating a psychopath? Comments. Comment 1. Correction. He was dating a psycho LOL. Leave that man alone. Learn from your fuck up and do better next time. Oop. Referring to me? Deleted. Duh. Mishi162. You brought this all on yourself. He didn't cheat on you, you asked for an open relationship. This is the result. He dumped you for someone that loves and respects him. The only course of action you have open to you now is to walk away and get therapy. OP, I'm in therapy already, deleted. You need to find a better therapist cause this one's not working. Update 2. This will probably be the last update. The restraining order has been filed, and I am not allowed within 100 feet of my ex Harry and his new girlfriend Jess. I'm planning to move back to my home in Arizona and start over. They're happy, and I just want to find peace with myself. Thanks for everyone's advice and opinions. Yes, I was already in therapy, and I am still in therapy. Please, anyone my age or younger, listen to my advice. TikTok is not cool. Please delete it, it's done me nothing but harm, and other people's stupidity can really poison your minds. I'm living proof. Thank you, take care. Comments. Comment 1. To recap. You wanted an open relationship, he said yes, but told you if he felt a connection with someone else, then he would do the right thing and break off your relationship rather than have an emotional affair. You agreed he felt a connection with someone and realized you're insane. He was upfront with you that he wanted to end things you blame, wanting the open relationship on your ADHD because you were bored. You then try to claim he cheated when you're the one that wanted the open relationship. You went to his house to start a fight when you wouldn't leave their place. She rightfully maced you to make you leave. You call her a psycho even though you're the one that harassed them constantly. You think he was wrong for getting a restraining order against you even though you're the aggressor. You're now blaming TikTok for your actions. Did that sum it all up? Comment 2. This all started because TikTok told you to open your relationship? Honestly, though, I hope you're able to build yourself a solid mental foundation before falling into another relationship. Deleted. She would not have even seen anything on it if she herself was not actively searching for info about open relationships. The idea was already in her mind before evil TikTok sent her all those supposed brainwashing videos on open relationships. I use TikTok and I have never seen one open relationship video pop up on me. I see plenty of makeup, fitness, paranormal, metaphysical, and wedding ideas, which is because the algorithms picked up on my interests. Anyone that is that impressionable in their late 20s, that would use TikTok for their life's most important choices is someone whose maturity is quite stunted and probably should not be on the internet. I hate this, 27 degrees Fahrenheit, still suffering 2 years later. 2 years later, it's been 2 years. I've tried to stay offline and live life, but my ex and his now wife find new ways to live in my head rent-free. I wanted an open relationship, so what? You don't just string me along for 8 months, get some new girl who you met through me, and then marry her. This isn't fair. She's living in my home, with something that should be my husband, and he's been renewing the restraining order ever since it first expired, and I know he's gonna keep doing it because, for reasons beyond my knowledge, the man hates me. FML comments. Comment 1. Was he visibly happy when you wanted to open up the relationship? If he wasn't, you were making plans to date whilst he was making plans for his future and his dignity. Comment 2. Eh bien, je peux vous dire les raisons. You wanted an open relationship, he didn't. He said if you insisted, and he got feelings for someone, he would dump you. He fell in love. You got dumped. You then harassed him and his new girlfriend by showing up at their apartment to talk. You consider her yelling at you to hurry up as inciting a physical fight which ended in your being rightfully maced. You are delusional and a threat. That's why he hates you. That's why he renewed the restraining order. You need serious professional help, and you won't find it on Reddit. Now to the next story, story 2. My boyfriend deleted my Sims saves from 2017 out of jealousy, smashed the backup USB as I begged him to stop. I broke up with him. Let's just start by saying that I, 24 male, love my girlfriend, Aaliyah, 20 female, very much. She's a super hard-working girl, and she spends a lot of her time on classes trying to get the highest grades possible for applying to nursing school in the near future. When she's not doing that, she's doing chores or cutting down on her ever-growing to-do list. And when she's not doing that, she's spending 2 hours a day playing The Sims. This is where the problem comes in. After all the stuff she does, Aaliyah doesn't have as much time to spend with me as she could. She's a perfectionist too, so when she's doing the more serious stuff like school, she puts in more effort than necessary, which is time-consuming. It really got to me that even knowing this, she'll spend so much time on The Sims. It's something frivolous she's doing when we already only get so little time together. She's also an adult, so essentially playing digital dolls almost every day is kind of something she ought to grow out of by now. I decided to step in and have her cut back on this. I obviously didn't delete the whole game, but I figured deleting the little save files she was working on would deter her from spending so much time on it. That decision backfired tremendously. When she logged onto her game, she thought there was some glitch going on and kept restarting it until I explained to her that I removed the saves. She absolutely flipped out on me, saying she'd been playing in that save file since like 2017, and I had ruined years of game progress. Sims isn't even a goal-oriented game? I told her she was overreacting because she still has the game, and she could just remake her same little characters if it mattered so much, but it doesn't need to, and maybe now she can focus on more adult interests, like loved ones. Basically, she left immediately, saying she was so stupid to leave her gaming laptop at my place, and now she won't answer my calls. I know that this is a total overreaction, but I started to feel a little bad once I realized it may not be as easy to redo her characters as I initially thought. So, ATA for deleting my girlfriend's Sims saves? TL.dr. My girlfriend is obsessed with The Sims, so to deter her from playing it so much, I deleted her save files. She blew up at me. ATA? The next day. Did you really think I wouldn't find this post? Did you really think I wouldn't see how you've been talking about me? I shudder to think what you've said and what you deleted. Why don't you tell them the real story? About how you not only deleted the save files, but also hammered the backup thumb drive so hard there's a dent on your countertop now while I cried for you to stop. Why don't you tell them about how you tag along to my SI group after bio because you don't want me to be out of your sight? Why don't you tell them about how my best friend, who's so-called in love with me, literally lives in another state and only visits once or twice a year? Why don't you tell them about how when my mother was sick a few months ago, you were blowing up my line all day, every day, for attention, knowing I was her primary caregiver 24/7? Why are you telling them you work full-time or that you manage a grocery store when you part-time manage the fast food place inside it? I want you to fucking take this to heart when I say this, but I have genuinely been so much worse off for knowing you. You've destroyed my self-esteem with your constant criticisms of what I enjoy. You've controlled me in every way for as long as I've known you. You don't understand boundaries or when no means no. Your racist fucking family treats me like dog shit, and your friends are equally racist, punk bitch assholes. You ruined something I've spent years of my life growing up with, and I could never bring myself to forgive and forget that, no matter how much love I've poured into you. I hate you for what you did to me and for what you've been doing. I mean that. I'm gonna make this so crystal clear since you didn't understand it the first time. We are through, go fuck yourself. 9 days later, that's it? Sorry for taking a while to tell everyone. I went to a local tech shop a few days ago, and they helped me to recover everything. I hadn't had the chance to update due to final season. I'm typing this on my way to class. But yes, for anyone still wondering, I got everything back. Now to the next story, story 3. I walked out of the wedding after being humiliated by the groom's best friend with a cruel prank in front of all the guests. Hey, Redditors! This is a furious venting session, a scream for help. But don't worry, I'm feeling better now. It's just the feminine wrath right now. I'll get right to the point and provide an unbiased perspective. So I left my groom at the altar 8 months ago. Yeah, I understand how that sounds. But, before you pass judgment, please hear me out. The person who ends a relationship is typically regarded to be callous, because how can they be upset when they instigated it, right? But this is not true. People in my circumstance will know what I'm talking about. While everyone sympathizes with the individual who is dumped, no one appears to care about the person who musters up the fortitude to stop the relationship. I'm not condoning toxic people who harm their spouses, but some people simply make you unhappy till it becomes your reality. It can take numerous forms. Some males exhibit emotional distance. Some people are always too busy with everything but their partners. Some people lack the courage to stand up for their spouses. Some people mistreat their relationships and dismiss them as mere jokes. Some undermine, gaslight, and deflate their confidence if they do anything slightly excellent to shine or achieve success. My boyfriend possessed all of these beautiful characteristics. Yes, that is a sigh. Let's not even get started on dissecting the character of his excellent best friend, who possessed all of these attributes to an even greater extent. For a long time, these two men made my life terrible, and I assumed that this was how one should live. The tranquility that I now have in my life, after kicking them out, is out of this world. However, they have returned and are wreaking havoc. Because who else yells chaos besides them? So, to help you comprehend this, I'll take you back to my college days. Yes, I admit it, I was stupid enough to date this man for 4 years. But honestly, I was the stupidest person to accept his proposal and chose to marry him. My ex and his best friend have been close since kindergarten and are quite similar. The same sexist, misogynistic, insecure and overconfident characteristics. It wasn't always this horrible. I had good days with my ex. Initially, he was rather charming. And believe me when I tell you, that man knew how to be charming. He tried to impress me and it worked. The first few months went pretty well. After that, the layers began to peel off, revealing his true self. It began with him being constantly unavailable and busy, while partying with his friends. This was what sparked the problems. And then he gaslighted me, convincing me that I was insane and delusional for questioning why he wouldn't give me his time. This lasted for quite some time. When college ended and I was seeking work, he'd laugh in my face in front of our pals and encourage others to join in. His approach went something like this. You'd never get hired, LOL. Even if you do, you'll be fired. This came from my man. And his best friend, who seemed to relish this, would always say, thank God you're pretty. They hired you as eye candy, lol. It felt disrespectful and irritating. And my ex would only chuckle. Every time I argued with my ex, he told all of his buddies about it. He would incorporate a third party in our discussions. And his closest buddy would call me all kinds of names and characterize me as a dramatic and impulsive woman, the stereotypical woman who overreacts to everything and obsesses over little matters. They'd make fun of me everywhere, and it was hurtful. He'd make comments about my beauty, my sense of style, and so on, while my ex would just sit there and chuckle. Now, if I start talking about these things, I'll be able to provide innumerable examples. But that is not what we are here for. As the wedding planning began, it was literally his closest buddy who made all of the decisions. I was the bride. I was going to have my dream wedding. But, no matter what I wanted, we'd only go with what his pal chose. At times, I felt as if he was deliberately choosing something I didn't like just to spite me. For example, I dislike orange flavor, but he chose it for my wedding cake. My ex chose the same option as his pal and forced me to follow suit. Even my wedding gown wasn't my choice. This man, my ex's best friend, was a perfectionist. My fantasy dress was allegedly too garish for his tastes. Everything went on, and I persevered till I couldn't. On my wedding day, something terrible occurred. But now as I look back, I'm grateful it happened. So my ex's best friend wanted to have fun by planning a prank that was quite rude. And that is not all. He also used some harsh words. I will explain. A pregnant woman was carried inside. And it was proclaimed, by none other than my groom's best man, his best friend, that he should not marry this stupid ugly hag. Referring to me, he already had a wonderful girlfriend, who was pregnant with his child. And this wasn't happening in a room with just the four of us. This was happening in front of all of the wedding guests. I was horrified. I wasn't sure how to react. As my tears watered, he began laughing and looked at my groom, asking if he really wanted to live with this dramatic stupidity for the rest of his life. He was being so cruel to me for no reason, and I was simply standing there, unable to speak or cry. This carried on for around 30 minutes. And I was on edge when the girl and the two men began giggling. I've never felt weaker in my life. I felt like my heart was shattering and I was about to die, all while these folks laughed in my face. Then they explained that it was a joke. A prank. Can you imagine how that feels? After humiliating me in front of all the guests and using such language against me, they simply laughed it off, dismissing it as a joke. When I started ranting at them, they just yelled back, saying I was foolish for not knowing how to react to a joke. That was enough to make me realize that I did not want to cope with this for the rest of my life. And so I departed. I simply abandoned my groom at the altar and walked away. They attempted to remedy it, but I left and went missing for around 2 weeks. I needed time to recover from this intense mental anguish. I won't go into great detail about how I healed, but it wasn't an easy process. It was a rough trip, from going to therapy, weeping myself to sleep, or being unable to sleep, and eventually being hospitalized for dehydration and poor eating habits, because I was starving myself. But I healed. Not entirely. Even so, thinking about it all made my eyes water. But I was also working on rectifying it. That's what had to be fixed. Not my shallow relationship, which this nasty man is currently attempting to heal. As I already stated, it has been 8 months. And my ex's best friend is taking his role as a best man, a little too seriously, after spoiling my wedding himself. Call after call. Text following text. From coming to my house to showing up at work, he has done everything he can to make me want to go back to my ex. He believes that this is simply a problem that should be fixed. When I plainly stated that I had ended the relationship and had moved on, he merely asked whether I was dating anybody new. If I had another man in my life, he would most likely leave me alone. However, as a woman, my decision to be single while not in love with my ex was not acceptable to them. It was an issue that needed to be resolved. A dumb prank that escalated and now needs to be solved. I'm so done with this, it is mentally taxing. Because every time this man tries to talk about the past, it brings back unpleasant recollections. Give me some guidance, gentlemen. Update 1, thank you so much for your kind compliments. When I thought about writing this, it was more of a venting session. I did not anticipate people to be so involved. Reading your comments made me feel like a movie character, and you're all developing your own theories. So I saw a couple comments discussing a restraining order, and I think it's a wonderful idea. I'm not sure why I didn't think of that myself, but it's never too late. Speaking about my current circumstances, things are getting pretty annoying, because he has started calling my pals after I blocked his phone number. This is quite frustrating. I'm simply attempting to live my life in the greatest way possible. And he is doing everything he can to avoid it. I'll obtain that restraining order, you know. Update 2. Guys, I received the restraining order. And guess what? I received a text from my ex's best friend's girlfriend, who claimed that her partner was simply being nice, but my move made her believe that I was not worth it because it was such a dramatic thing. Like, dude, is their entire tribe going to annoy me now? I'm really frustrated. Literally. There's so much. It's all the same old drama, and I'm over it. Update 3. Hello there, hopefully this will be my final post. I'm not sure if this was the appropriate thing to do. I contacted my ex. And we had a lengthy chat. I made it obvious that I was no longer interested in him and would never contact him again. Although I refer to it as a discussion, it was primarily me speaking and him agreeing with my sentences. I told him that if his friend didn't stop, I'd have to take severe legal action, as if the restraining order wasn't enough. He told me that I would not be harassed again, and that he would speak with his friend. It's been a week and I haven't heard from him or his best friend. I really hope it stays like way because I am so over these people, and I don't trust them at all. Venting over here has been helpful, and you all are nice people. Thanks. I'm going to sign off for now. NTA, But for your ex and his closest friend? Definitely a holes. Reading this made me really irritated with them. I cannot comprehend how you put up with such behavior. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.